wedding industry nowadays presents inclusivity and simplifies every step of the planning process. In this innovative endeavor, we are dedicated to creating inclusive weddings where love knows no boundaries and couples of all backgrounds can celebrate their special day with joy and harmony. Nora Sheils, a prominent figure in the world of weddings, as a native of Portland and the founder of Bridal Bliss, Inc., Nora brings a wealth of expertise and experience. Her passion for weddings led her to co-found Rock Paper Coin in 2018, a groundbreaking platform that bridges the gap between event professionals and engaged couples, revolutionizing the contract and invoice process. She generously shares her insights on crafting inclusive weddings and transforming the often daunting tasks of proposals, contracts, invoicing, and payment processing into a stress-free and enjoyable experience for couples and vendors. Get inspired as Nora unravels the secrets to creating unforgettable wedding experiences and simplifying the journey towards the big day. So join us as we dive deep into the world of weddings with Nora Sheils on the True Love Knots podcast.
Hi, everybody. Maria Romano here, True Love Knots. So let me tell you, I am so excited today. I have a wonderful, wonderful guest that she's going to be speaking about her company. She's also going to be speaking about the David Tutera event, and her name is Nora Sheils. Did I get that right?
You got it. You got it perfect.
Right? Hold on, I have to pull up your bio because I did not memorize this. But first, hi, Nora. Say hi to everybody.
Hey, thanks so much for having me on. It's good to see you.
Thank you. And it's so great to see you. This is going to be exciting. And what I'm bringing Nora on today, we're going to cover a variety of subjects, especially for those of my friends that are in my community in the wedding industry. And I want you to think beyond the wedding industry, because what we're going to share today is something that you can take with you in your everyday life. So I want to just take a moment here and just read your bio. So let me just move this over, because I was fascinated. I was fascinated with who this woman is. And you know what? She is a Portland native. Bless you, because it rains there a lot, and founder of Bridal Bliss, Inc. She is an expert of all things weddings and is the definition of a boss babe. Don't we love that, women? Born to Iraqi immigrants, and she was raised in a culture of over-the-top celebrations, and they do. And from her beginnings, event planning was in her blood while leading a team of 30 women. That's a lot. Oh gosh, hormones going, who produce up to 150 weddings and events a year. That is a lot of events, especially if they're over the top. And then Nora noticed that there was a gap in the planning industry and developed Rock Paper Coin, a forum that brings together event professionals and couples to streamline the often daunting contract and invoice process. And that is true, being bogged down with paperwork. Now, when she's not busy running Bridal Bliss and Rock Paper Coin, you can find her spending time with her husband, her two rambunctious boys, Dylan and Gavin, traveling and grooving through a sweaty spin session, love spin, adding sparkle to just about anything, or having a long family-style dinner with her nearest and dearest. Welcome again. Thank you so much. I'm so thrilled that you're impressive. Okay.
Well, thanks.
So we got to break this down, because I like to break them down into boxes. So start a little bit about the type of weddings that you were exposed to. Let's start with that.
Yeah. So, as a child, my mom did alterations out of our house. She is an Iraqi immigrant and, kind of came here not knowing anyone and not speaking the language, and is now an amazing businesswoman today. And so I was surrounded by weddings and brides and beautiful dresses growing up. And these Arabic events are like multi-day celebrations, and they are like so over the top, so glamorous. And it's just like such a celebration where family and loved ones come together. And, just like any wedding, you get all these people together that you haven't seen for a long time. And it's just like good vibes all around. So I always had a soft spot for weddings and, special events. And that's kind of what drew me to the industry. And I started in 2002, a very long time ago. And at that point, wedding planners were not what they are today. They were like the Mindy Weisses, the David Tuteras, the Preston Baileys, or it was just for the like rich and famous, over the top, multi-million dollar events. So just like your run of the mill wedding planner that's handling a budget of, you know, $50,000 or whatever was not, nobody did that. So, you know, there weren't a lot of mentors at that time or different companies that you could shadow or learn from. So I kind of just jumped in and thankfully had the wedding background with my mom. And, you know, throughout high school and college, I worked in many different aspects of events. So kind of dipped my toes into different kind of vendor categories. And thankfully, people hired me as a young 22-year-old. I'm still surprised by it, but you know, one wedding led to another, which led to a team and expansion. And so we're in 3 different markets now. And, you know, it was through my experience there that it really, there had to be a better way to do things. You know, we were so manual. We were on spreadsheets and Word docs and things like that. And just thought there had to be a better way to do things. So we looked and looked and looked and couldn't find anything. And so we built it.
Okay, so I have to bring this up. You are in business with rock, paper, scissors with your coin, rather. No.
Rock, paper, coin.
It's okay. I kept thinking that I thought, as a matter of fact, everybody out there, what, you know, I thought her company, until I actually went to her site, was invitations. I thought it was right. I did. But when I was totally blown away because it was an actual software company with CRMs, with everything that helps you with what you need in today's, which we'll get into that. But you're in business with your sister-in-law.
I am. So Elizabeth and I, we work together as planners at Bridal Bliss. So that the wedding planning company is Bridal Bliss. And she started as an intern with me and quickly grew and helped us expand into a new market. And really, she's always pushed me to do better and think bigger. And during that time, she was single and she's the only person I've met that like loved dating. And so I was like, meet my brother-in-law. I mean, I don't know if it's a match, but you'll have fun. And they are married. So we're now married to brothers. So we're officially sisters.
And now, how long has she been married to your
Oh
husband?
gosh, she married Tim probably 6 years ago.
Okay. Oh, they're
6 or
newlyweds.
7.
They're newlyweds.
Yeah, right.
You've been married for a while, right?
I've been married, I think it's 14 years now. And actually, here's a fun fact for you. I met my husband at a wedding. I was a planner and he was a guest.
Well, you know what? You just never know. And, you know, I officiate, as you know, I'm in Las Vegas. So I get to do over 1,000 weddings a year as far as ceremony, but we have such a huge market. And you just never know. I hear so many love stories, so many ages, so many different ways that people meet each other, which is amazing. And I love that type of story. See, so he was sort of like the wedding planner. Okay. The wedding story.
He just wasn't the groom.
God for that, right? That's so good. That is so fun. But you know what, I'm going to tell you what I was fascinated with. First of all, I think that we need to talk a little bit about how your organization helps people in the industry to more or less take care of the paperwork and the invoicing and the processing and customer relations management. And because there's so many moving parts. But one of the things, there was something I read, which I thought was interesting. I have to turn over here to my other screen, which I'm not going to move it over. I love the fact that you talked about that your team is very inclusive and it's Black, Indigenous, and people of color. So that is BIPOC, correct? Am I correct? That's the term.
Correct.
Believe it or not, even though I do binary weddings, or non-binary, I should say, and then of course, you know, same gender, people, transgender, it's Vegas. We see it all. It gives us great experience.
Yeah.
And I just listened to a podcast on Amy Porterfield. If any of my listeners out there are familiar with her, I don't know if you're familiar with her. She does. I've taken her course and I love it. So I created a digital course, How to Officiate Weddings, because of I love what she does. And she had somebody on her podcast, and I want to take a moment and stop here and talk a little bit about inclusiveness because when I started with wedding ceremonies and started officiating in 2010, and I was doing weddings out in the open on gondolas at the Venetian, for example, and I started as doing commitment ceremonies. That's how I broke in, because it was very gender specific. Yes, everybody listening, it was a lot of people still wanted the male minister. When they saw that Mario was really Maria, they I mean, okay, you know what? It's all right. I think you should have who you want officiate. That is so important. It's a trajectory. So when I would do these wedding ceremonies, and in the gondola outside, there would be people at the Venetian. So we did a turnaround and we would pronounce them and then have everybody cheer. It was amazing how people looked at definitely same gender. Fast forward today, okay, we still have the gawking, okay. Now that's just same gender, but we have had situations where we've walked in, you have people that marry people of color. That could be, you know, two different cultures, two different religions. I see that a lot. We also have people where we marry that the bride could have a beard, but still dressed as a bride. And you have to, so tell me, what made you and your sister-in-law? I love what you said about the inclusiveness. So if you can expand on that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to discriminate. Love is love. People are people. Like, we're out to just help everyone and better our industry. So regardless of how somebody identifies or who they serve or what they do, we're just out to make the wedding industry a better place. And, you know, we experienced this, like you were saying, at the wedding planning company, such a progression where all of our couples were a man and a woman getting married, you know, 20 plus years ago. Whereas today, that's definitely not how it is or how it should be. So it's been amazing watching that progression. And you know, some professionals are more open to it than others. And so you know who to align yourself with. I mean, there's a photographer in the Portland area that will not do same-sex weddings. So we will not recommend them, right? So you want to align yourself with like-minded people that are positive and treat others with love and respect. And so that's super important to us, not only for the people we serve, but also our team. We have a multicultural team. We have, you know, all different genders and people that identify in different ways. And honestly, I just think that makes the camaraderie and it just makes it better in every way. So that's something that's really important to us.
I was listening to, I'm a podcast junkie, so that you know. So when I'm in the car, I'm not listening to, which other than I listen to wedding music or I like to watch Hallmark movies, I'm still a sucker. But I was also listening to another podcast where if you really want to grow as an individual, don't surround yourself with just like-minded people that are you. Expand. Get to know. So if you don't have some people of color, or maybe somebody that has a specific gender that they prefer in their relationship, their personal relationship, that it's important. And it's true. I think you grow more because you get to understand more about their background, their culture, and about them. It's just like you were talking with, you said you did a lot of you were grown up in your, you know, your immigrant family, Italian family, but somewhere across the world, it might be different, right? For that couple,
right?
Their culture.
Right. And that couple, regardless of who they are and how they identify, they deserve to have a beautiful wedding and a great experience. So, you know, when gay weddings first became legal, or even when they weren't legal, we were still planning celebrations and those types of things. And those couples were so appreciative and they were so happy to have had this experience and someone that treated them with respect and honored their love. And so it just makes you want to do more, right? And just kind of help in any way that you can. So well, we're open and willing to support anyone.
Well, and I give you kudos because planning, because you still plan and we're going to get into a little bit about your company, you know, but as far as your software that you offer, because I was looking at that, but I think I give you a lot of credit for planning. That's something that I never wanted to even dabble in. I get to work around planners and chapels and things like that. And it really is a lot. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of moving parts with it.
That's an understatement.
Yeah, exactly. You have to always have plan A and plan B. So
Right.
that's
And
as
C.
well. And also you have to be a therapist too, because emotions, don't you find emotions run like
Oh,
they're at the height, right?
we talk about this all the time. A couple, when they come in, are different people than right before they get married. And people always ask, do you deal with, Zillas or people that are or difficult? Yeah, sometimes people get difficult, but 99% of the time, they are having some sort of family issue in the background. They're arguing about the guest list, or the future mother-in-law is, sticking her head in places that she shouldn't, or people just, that's what makes them tick a lot. So it's not so much the planning and the to-do list, it's things going on in the background. So that's why having a planner is so important, because they take on all the logistics and all the details. So you can kind of focus on keeping things smooth with the family and enjoying your engagement and all of that, while the professionals are in the background. You've got a solid team behind you, and you can really enjoy it instead of stressing out about one more thing.
That is, that does make a difference. And they were talking about that at one of the chapels, that yes, the largest form of stress, the biggest area for couples, are their parents.
Yeah.
That are,
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
And because parents, my daughter's in her 30s now, but that's not the point. You have a different vision, and we want your vision, what you didn't have, you'd like to see.
Right.
Sometimes. And that's not always their vision. So we wind up seeing we're seeing a lot of elopements and micro ceremonies in Vegas because of that. And then they go back, and everybody might get angry that they got married, but then they have a big party, and it's just, it works out later on.
Yeah.
And I think you're right, the emotional side, because it's a beautiful time in a couple's life. And you don't really want to see that couple, having to deal with the emotions where family gets upset with them, and then somebody doesn't speak to them. And, that's not something, it's a happy time.
Right. Should be.
Spend the rest of your life with. So I give you credit for that. So tell us, when you decided there was a sort of maybe a niche in the market, a hole in the market about your company. Talk about your software a bit.
Sure. So Elizabeth and I were just out to drinks one day, complaining and commiserating to each other about how we felt like babysitters. And so that's when we went on our hunt to find software. And they were either not easy to use, our team didn't like them, our clients didn't like them, they were outrageously expensive, or they were super ugly. And so we originally planned to just have something created for us in-house for just our company to use. Obviously, very naive about software development and what that takes and how much it costs. But we kind of put it on hold when we learned all that, and just started talking to our friends, both locally and nationally, that were planners, or really any type of vendor type. And nobody had a good solution. And so we're like, there is something here. We have to build it and make things easier for everybody. So our platform, Rock Paper Coin, focuses on the booking and onboarding process. So you have a new client, you're going to send them a contract, an invoice, a proposal, and you want them to be able to sign and pay instantly. So that's what they can do through our platform. We have the lowest processing fee you can find. It's 2.5%. So I know a lot of pros don't know what their percentage is. I encourage you after this to go look, because you're probably paying anywhere from 3 to 5%. So it's a big, big savings. And we do complimentary white glove onboarding. Starting a new platform can be daunting. It can be stressful. And so we take all of that off our new members' hands, and our team handles importing documents, getting their profile dialed in, and doing hands-on training. It's very easy to get ramped up, and it's very user-friendly and intuitive. And that was one of our biggest wants and needs, was to make it intuitive and easy. So we also have quite a few different resources on there for our members. We provide automations, so it's just one less thing for you to worry about when you send out an invoice with 5 different due dates. You know that our platform is going to send out those reminders to your clients. That's just like the tip of the iceberg. We have quite a few different features for our members. We have a couple integrations. We have Google Drive integrated, Timeline Genius. So our goal, like I said, is to just make that process easy for not only the vendor, but also clients and planners. So we incorporate communication with planners. So they are included in all communication. They can actually act on behalf of their clients if the client gives them permissions. So it just makes everyone's life easier.
I saw that, and I saw the resources that you have, and I thought it was wonderful that you provide a lot of resources to them as well. And you're right, because you're building a community and you want their success
Right.
as your success.
Absolutely.
And or if there's something that's not working, I'm sure you take feedback back.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that is we have a full-time development team. So we're constantly adding new features and tweaking things. And all of that comes from our feedback from our members. So if there's something that they feel is missing or a process that they don't love, we take all of their feedback and our roadmap is based off of that. So we're constantly evolving and trying to better our platform as much as we can.
And I love that. You know, I was in my former life, I was in the rent-a-car industry.
Oh, you're kidding.
So yeah, I have 40 plus years in the hospitality industry. So I know,
Wow.
so that's why I gravitated toward this, but I know what it's like when you need the right systems that make it a lot easier.
100%.
Definitely. Do you have something for officiants? I do have officiants, a lot of officiants that listen to me. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
Basically.
Our platform is for all different vendor types. So we have several officiants, venues, florists, photographers. We even have people outside of the industry. So like bookkeepers, interior designers. Our processing fee is so low that that's an easy driver. But with all of the other features, event and wedding pros really find value in our product.
Well, that's interesting to know. I want everybody that's listening to take a look and go to their website, which I'll put that anyway in the show notes. All right. So we have to take a moment because we are here because I'm getting to meet you. I'm going to see you in the Caymans. Okay.
Yes.
I don't know if I'll see anybody in a bathing suit, but I'll see you in the Caymans.
I will be in a bathing suit.
My sister's going to join me. She's coming as my guest.
Oh,
so
how
tell us
fun.
about what you're going to focus on as David Tutera's event, which anybody in the industry knows who he is. Although,
yes.
I can tell you, I have met planners that don't know who he is. And I'm like, Ford, come on, you don't know David Tutera? Okay.
Have you been living under a rock?
Is the Pope Catholic? Okay. That's all right. That's okay. It's okay. That's some people live in their own bubble, but he puts on what I love is it's not a large event. It's under 100 people. And share about you a little bit about, I know you've met him and what you think you're going to be talking about besides your fabulous company, or are you going to talk about anything else?
So I met David a couple years ago. Rock, Paper, Coin is actually his preferred payment platform. He uses it for his own company and for all kinds of different things. But I am going to DTE to talk about automation and how to incorporate different automation into your company to just make your life easier. So yes, of course, I will talk about Rock, Paper, Coin, but there are a million different platforms and apps out there that can save you time. And many of them are free or very, very low cost. All you have to do is get set up. And the beauty of automation is, it's less for you to do, but it's also done perfectly. There are no mistakes. There's a robot doing them. So, staying up late and punching numbers, you're probably going to screw something up. But if you have your automation set up correctly, you can rest assured that it's being done exactly how you want it to be. So you can save time, save money, and spend more time doing the things that you love.
It's interesting because I had Megan Ely on. You know who Megan is.
I love her so much.
And I said, what do you think we need to do in the wedding industry? What would you say? And she said, we need to be more open to automation and technology. And I see that in the officiant side because they become so robotic with what they've been doing, the same ceremony and so on and so forth. But I kind of think of myself as a little bit more progressive than that because I come from a different background. But it's important, I think, in your field, no matter what you do, is to have your pulse on what's going on in order for you to grow in your company, like ChatGPT. And there's the video, AI, and there's so much, right? I mean, it's
incredible. It's such a shift in how things are going to be done very quickly. It's kind of, I'm excited to see what happens with it. But ChatGPT, I'm like, how did we not have this before? It's such a game changer. I'm so thankful to have it.
Right. And it doesn't take away from the knowledge that you have when you're getting ready to write a blog or you need to have information.
Right.
I think what it does, it just gives sparks ideas. It's like having a bunch of you in the room,
Exactly.
which there's nothing wrong with a bunch of, and then turning around and then massaging it until, and I love it. I mean, I think it's wonderful.
Yeah, and that's the thing is it's got to be used as a starting point. It's not the end all be all. You can't create a blog solely from AI. I mean, you can, but it's not going to have your personality. It's not going to be well written. It's more a guide to get you started or to really get the wheels turning. And then from there, take it and make it your own. But regardless, it's going to save you a ton of time. Actually, my son is in fourth grade, or he's going into fifth grade, and he had this book report and it had to summarize this book in 5 sentences. And he tried it like 5 different times. He's like, I can't do it in 5 sentences. There were so many things. And so I was like, so there's this thing called ChatGPT. Let's just see what it does. And we plugged it in, and it was a great description in 5 sentences, but it certainly was not written by a 10-year-old. So we had it rewritten by like a 10-year-old. And oh my gosh, it was so great. So it really gave him, he's like, okay, I could take this piece and then pull it all together. So
I do it all the time, and I have my VAs do it as well. I think it's so important to use it. So
especially for blogging, like blogging is so important.
Yes. And I loved, I was reading your different blogs you had, which I hope everybody takes the time to head over. But I just want to plug David's event on the 18th, excuse me, the 17th, because I'm flying in on the 16th. I think it's the 17th or
no, I think
18th.
I'm going to fly
right,
in
to
a
the
couple
18th
days
to
early.
the 20th or 21st over at the Cayman Islands. If you're in the industry or not in the industry, my understanding is that his events they really tap into you, and they tap into your emotions, from what I'm understanding from speaking to David and Joey. And they tap into having people like yourself that have all this, information and technology to make life easier, to make it smoother. And it's other people. I'm going to be talking about love, which, listen, we're all in that business and the experience. So I just want to plug that again, but I want to ask you one final question. So what advice would you give people that are in the industry or getting ready to start in the event industry?
I would say get your systems set up early. There's not one end all be all platform that's going to help you run your business. You really have to create a tech stack to solve your problems. So whether it's a calendar app and rock, paper, coin and Timeline Genius, or whatever the combination is, get on those early rather than trying to do things manually, because if you get started on them, it's easier to kind of keep that going. It's sticky rather than, you've got one spreadsheet here, one spreadsheet there, and things just get confused and jumbled. So really take your time to find technology that can set you up for success from the beginning. And with that, I would definitely take advantage of all the customer service options out there. You're not on your own setting up a new system. There are people whose sole job is to help you get onboarded and keep you happy. So you have to reach out, and it'll just save you time rather than figuring it out all by yourself. Do a demo, do a training, and that way you're using whatever platform you're on to its fullest extent, rather than maybe paying for something separate, not realizing that you already have that included somewhere else.
And I love that. Now, you mentioned something because you said you have interior designers and bookkeepers. So does this go all the way up to like a QuickBooks, or does it integrate with like QuickBooks? Just out of
It
curiosity?
integrates with QuickBooks. So we don't do all the reporting and P&Ls or anything like that, but you can easily plug your numbers into QuickBooks from rock, paper, coin. So it's all integrated, and we have exports and all kinds of different options to make accounting super easy.
To go to your chart of accounts that populate.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
It's out of curiosity. Yes. Wow. That sounds, I'm going to do this next week or two. I'm definitely going to do this.
Please. We'd love it. And
look at it. And I'm going to tell everybody all about that. Cause when I get to your place, when I see you in the Caymans and share, but, I want to thank you so much.
Yeah, of course.
And those of you that'll be listening at a later time, if you have any questions, reach out to me. I'm going to put Nora's information. And as I sign off, as I always say, continue, everybody out there, my friends, to stay healthy, happy, and safe. As I always say, spread love. Have a great day, everyone.